morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm sure many of you would have been wondering, who is this Nyoka Mabun? Well, here is a video of him talking to Blessed. I think what is interesting here is he is a Zanu PF and he is a Zanu PF insider, and he is talking on behalf of Blessed, Geza, and the other war veterans who are themselves Zanu PF senior members. Geza himself is a member of the Central Committee of Zanu PF. He fought in the Liberation War, and at one point he was working as a CIO, and then he became a member of parliament. And so he is Zanu PF through and through. Let's just listen to what Nyoka Mabunu was saying in this video clip.
So what are you going to say, or what would you do or say to the young people who are folding their hands as their future wilts away, as you say?
Mazuva ndingataura kune vana vechidiki ndeyekuti ngavasatengwe nemari, because upenyu huri kuuraiwa ndehwavo. Vakaramba vakafodha maoko, nyika icharamba ichimurwa nemurume uyu. Nyika ichingomurwa. Now izvozvi mukoma blessing. From 2030 akusisina an election makamusiyana. Vana vechidiki ngavasatengese, ngavadzidze kudefenda generation yavo. Mao veterans vakatoita pavo paye vakapedza. This is our time now to defend our country. Smith angari nani? Smith ichaichaye angari nani pataxi yavo badrisa. So vana vechidiki, even mao veterans ngavasatengese, because mao veterans kana vakatengesa nyika vachatadza kuona chavakarwira hondo. Vakarwira mahara, vana chavakarwira. Nokuti changa vakaenda vakanorwira, vaida kuti nyika ive ine democracy. Hamuna democracy mukoma. Ane vakanzwa izvozvo vari kuda kusuba iti vada kumusunga Geza, manje Geza mawana vambombata. Kana nikuti ndichasvika chipo. Andisichatongochira. Ini baraba ina andibatike mukoma blessing. Andichabatika level iro rakatopfuura.
What would you say if another political party was to lead Zimbabwe other than Zanu PF? If Zanu PF was defeated in an election?
We need democracy. We need the rule of law in our country. We don't mind which part wins, as long in the interest of the people, in the benefit of the people. We don't mind which part can run. But what we want democracy.
But now you want to violate democracy by threatening a democratically elected president and saying he is going to be removed from
that
power.
That one is not a democratically elected leader, that one. He came via coup.
But he was elected in 2018, he was elected in 2023.
Those are true towers, I told you, if Papa I to threaten a man. Are you still saying is a democratically elected leader?
Well, we don't have to listen to the whole thing. What matters here is that this is the individual who, together with Geza and the other war veterans, are garnering for VP Chiwenga to be the Zanu PF candidate in the presidential elections. They are the ones, maybe not our friend here, but Geza and the other war veterans are the ones who, soon after independence, helped Zanu PF impose a de facto one-party state. They saw it as this is what we fought for. To keep on pretending that somehow these war veterans are Democrats is so far-fetched, is nauseating. Let's deal with the facts on the ground. The war veterans, and here I must emphasize, we are not talking only of those war veterans who were demobilized in the 1980s, or have since retired from various activities. We are also dealing with the war veterans who are still in the army, in the police, the CIO, in government, who have been brainwashed by Mugabe to believe that the only party to rule the country was Zanu PF. And so they've ridden roughshod over the people, denying them their fundamental rights, their right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country, free, fair, and credible elections. And they've managed to maintain this de facto one-party state for the last 45 years. This is what we are dealing with. As much as Blessed Geza and others are right in saying Mnangagwa is corrupt, he is corrupt. That Mnangagwa is incompetent, he is incompetent. That he is a murderous thug, he is a murderous thug. Indeed, we've known all along that Mnangagwa was all those things. And yet in 2017, they are the ones who imposed Mnangagwa on the nation. Jeremiah here is saying that Mnangagwa is not a democratically elected president. He's absolutely right. He came into power through a coup. He's absolutely right. No one can deny that Zanu PF has been rigging elections. 2018 was no exception. 2023, same thing happened again. But what is interesting about people like him and Blessed Geza is now they are becoming very selective. While on the one hand, they are condemning Mnangagwa for getting into power through a military coup, they conveniently forget that Chiwenga, who is his VP, was the one who not only staged that coup, but also benefited from that coup. Before the coup, he was the commander of the army. After the coup, he conveniently retired and took up the position of VP. And as vice president, he was involved in the campaign in 2018 and 2023. He rigged those elections. And yet he is the same man that they are gunning for to take over from Mnangagwa. There have been reports on the social media of how somebody has produced a dossier and given it to senior members in the army of corruption under this Mnangagwa government. From the reading of it, it sounds like this dossier was done very selectively. Mnangagwa and those around him were supportive of Mnangagwa are the ones listed in that dossier as corrupt. Chiwenga and those who support him are as innocent as a rose. This is the nonsense that we, the people of Zimbabwe, must reject. I've said it on this platform, and I'll say it again. Geza and company are not Democrats. They just happen not to like the latest dictator, so they want to swap him for another one. Just as in 2017, they were sick and tired of Mugabe, and they wanted to swap him for Mnangagwa. We, the ordinary people, had no say in that. Indeed, at one time when the coup leaders needed the public support, they encouraged the members of the public to come out in the street and demonstrate. The regime guaranteed their safety. For the first time in Zimbabwe, the people were able to demonstrate without being subjected to abuse by the police and the riot police. After that, when the people, for instance, tried to protest the rigging of the 2018 elections, the army was released on them with instructions to shoot to kill. And many people were killed. This is the regime we are dealing with. So I would like to reiterate my position that as much as Blessed Geza and these war veterans are pursuing the same issue as we are, that Mnangagwa is a dictator and he should go, we should not be foolish enough to believe that Geza and company are now Democrats. They are not. They are Zanu PF through and through, and Zanu PF will never reform itself out of office. Whatever they may promise right now, that is all lies. They have enjoyed absolute power for the last 45 years. They are not going to give it up. The issue of swapping dictators is an important issue. We cannot repeat what happened in 2017, where we swapped Mugabe for Mnangagwa. Because at the end of the day, nothing changed. What we need is to dismantle the dictatorship itself. At the heart of it is that we must restore the right of every Zimbabwean to a meaningful say in the governance of the country. Whoever is to lead the country must be elected by the people in a free, fair, and credible election. That should be the overriding law in the country. And no one should be above that law. At the present moment, the war veterans believe they are above that law. They fought in the war, in the liberation war, and they have the right to veto on who rules Zimbabwe. This has been at the heart of our problem. These people, Geza and everybody, have been the ones who have helped Zanu PF rig elections, deny people the meaningful say in the governance of the country. But because they were helping Zanu PF, they said nothing. And that right, that power, they're not going to give it up. What they're offering the people of Zimbabwe today is an opportunity to swap Mnangagwa for Chiwenga. And what I'm saying to the people of Zimbabwe is after 45 years of rigged elections, we should be smart enough to know what we want. We should be smart enough to know that swapping one dictator for another is not getting us out of this mess. The right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country is more than just a right. It is the essence of good governance. After 45 years of corrupt, tyrannical rule, Zimbabwe is desperate for a break, for good governance. It's desperate to see an end to this chaotic system of government. And we do not end the chaotic system of government by swapping one dictator for another. So my message is, as much as Geza and company would want us to believe that they are offering the country a way out of this 45 years of gross mismanagement, rampant corruption, and tyrannical rule by swapping Mnangagwa for another dictator. We must make it very clear that that is not the answer, and we are not biting. Thank you very much. Have a good day.